And I said, I wouldn't do that. And he knows me real well. He said, what would you do with them? I said, well, what I would do. Hey, everyone, Dave from Repairs Rules. So I've been thinking about some of my previous videos that I shared with you. Um, by the way, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, hey, welcome back. But anyway, many of you know from my earlier videos that I'm basically a lifelong entrepreneur. And I've explained that a little bit and ran my own business and all those kind of things. But I was thinking about some earlier videos that I did, and I wanted to clarify a little bit to you. I tell people all the time that there's opportunities all around you all the time. And I wanted to give you an example of that, a story I'll share here in a moment. But I had one of my watchers, one of my viewers, send me a comment and made a comment about side hustles as well. There was nothing new, um, like it was the same type of information. So I replied back to him and I just asked him, well, what are your passions? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? To get some feedback from him, and the guy never answered. Um, I love the idea of helping people. I love to help people, and I do it all the time. And I mentor some people about making money, side hustles, all the time, actually. Um, but I can't help if I'm not getting feedback from the person of what their interests are. So I wanted to give you examples of that first, and then I'm going to share a story with you. Um, you know, some people think that the side hustles and retirement and so on is just about making money. Well, the money part's nice, but for many of us, that money is not the main issue. I mean, we took care of our retirement needs coming up to retirement, and we're okay with retirement. Financially, we're okay. But a lot of people get bored and they don't know what they're going to do with their time and so on. So for a lot of us, this is um, this is a fun thing. This is a game that you play. It gives you something to do, and not only gives you something to do, it's very interesting. It can be exciting. You kind of looking forward to getting up in the morning to check to see how everything's going for you. So I kind of liken it. I used to know a guy who was into day trading on the stock market. I know nothing about that. But this guy was really excited, very wealthy guy, very wealthy. Didn't need the money, but he was always excited to get up in the morning and go check and see how all of his trades did that he made the day before. And this is sort of the same type of thing. The side hustles to me, it's a game that I play to keep my mind active, to keep me physically active because I go out and do some of these things. But if somebody's looking for help, um, you know, there's not somebody going to come running to you to rescue you. You're going to have to step out a little bit and explain to someone that may be able to help you what your interests are. Now, let me give you an example of that. Some people, physically, they may not be able to go out. They may actually, I mean, they could be stuck in a wheelchair or something, and they would still, I mean, they're bored. They would want something to do. Well, there are side hustles that you can do strictly online, all about research, and it can turn into a money making opportunity for you. Um, and I've done that, and it's fun. But personally, I enjoy doing a lot of different things. And for people who need the side hustle money, they really need it as a supplement for their retirement. It's a great way to do that. Instead of going out to get a part time job somewhere, which that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's for you, you can do that. But for someone that is interested in uh, pulling back when they want to pull back, exerting more when they want to exert more. Side hustles are a perfect way to do that. So anyway, I wanted to kind of share that. You need, if you're looking for help from me or from anybody else, you have to kind of let the people know what your passions are. That way they've got a way to guide you. Otherwise, you're just going to keep hearing things repeat the same way over and over and over. So let me give you an example of not repeating things over and over and over. I'm going to tell you a story, true story, and that's all I tell is true stories. But anyway, when you work with wood, you'll get a lot of scraps of all different kinds. And I build things and I sell things on Etsy and on eBay and different places. But this is inevitable. Having scrap pieces, you're going to have. So one day, I made a trip out to a friend's house who is a general contractor. And he had a contract to build displays for a local building supply house. And so I go out to see him, and he's working in his garage. I said, "Hey, how's it going? What are you doing?" And he told me about this contract. And he has his miter saw set up, and he is making cut after cut after cut, making these displays for the store. So I'm watching him and we're talking, and I noticed that this pile of cut-offs wood that he has laying there, I mean, he had a big pile. And I just asked him, I said, what are you going to do with all of your cut-offs? And he said, well, I'll probably use them for kindling this winter. So I said, oh, okay. And I looked at it for a minute and I was thinking, and I said, I wouldn't do that. And he knows me real well. He said, "What would you do with them?" I said, "Well, what I would do for me, I would pick those pieces up and real lightly, just very lightly, run a piece of sandpaper across them, and then I would go get a shoebox, and I would stack these pieces, fill a shoebox. Then what I would do, I would take that shoebox and I would advertise it on eBay. And nowadays you can advertise these things all over the place. But anyway, on eBay, I would just put down all natural building blocks, toys for kids. No finish on them because the kids will chew on them or whatever. And trust me, there's a lot of parents out there, they're very conscious about that type of thing. So he did it. He said, I'm going to do that. So he took some pieces and sanded them off a little bit, put them in a shoebox. And then I don't know how long, a couple weeks later, he calls me up and he says, "Hey, Dave, you're not going to believe this." He said, "That pile of kindling wood that I had," I said, "Oh, yeah, yeah. What happened?" He said, "I sold it all." I said, "You sold it all?" He said, "Yeah, I sold the whole pile, doing exactly what you said." He said, "I put them in boxes, advertised them on eBay, and they just sold like crazy. Just sold right through them." And I said, "That's better than burning them up in the fireplaces." And he laughed, said, "Yeah." So we hung up, and everything was fine, and he was happy, and his pile of kindling was gone. So anyway, I don't recall how long it was past that, but like 3 weeks later, or not even that, actually, it was before that. He calls up and he said one of his customers that he sold to, he said, "Could you make me a little carrying box, not a shoe box, but a regular wood carrying box for these blocks for my son?" And he called me and he said, they work she's talking about just like one of those little boxes that we made in industrial arts the first year industrial arts in school. He said, "I don't have time to do that." And I said, "Yes, you do." And I explained to him, "Look, there's people out there who money is not the object. They have the money, but you're filling a need for them. and they've already showed you the need. They needed some unfinished wood blocks for their son. Now they need a box to carry. I said, just whatever you're pricing your actual, general contracting work that you do, take that and just magnify it a little bit and send her an estimate. He said, but Dave, that's going to be a $300 box. I said, well, so be it. Tell her that it's going to be a, $300 box. So he called up, and I don't remember if it was 300. It could have been 200. I don't recall. But the point is, it was a lot more expensive than what the box would actually be, something that most people would pay for. So he calls me up, and he says, well, guess what? I'm going to be building a box for this lady. I said, well, good. It was $300. That it's going to take you how long to do? He said, it won't take me long at all to do. I said, okay, well, there you go. So we hung up. A little bit of time passed, and he said, he called me, and he said, you're not going to believe this. That lady has a good friend who wants some blocks that same way and wants the box to go with it. And I said, well, great. He said, but I don't have any more of those cut off blocks. I said, well, go get you a piece of wood and cut those pieces of blocks and build them a box and send it to them. And it's exactly what he did. And I don't recall what the total was, but it's like a $400 or $500 box of blocks. So don't underestimate what the market might bring. If they can't find it anywhere, it just is not out there to be had, they're going to pay somebody to do it. So it's the same thing with anything. I mean, if you can't find a plumber to do work, the plumber in that area is really busy and he's making a lot of money. So it's the same thing. I don't care if it's wood blocks or whatever it is. Don't get hung up on Walmart. Don't have the Walmart mentality. It has to be cheap. I have to sell this for $6. No, you don't. You don't. And there's opportunities like that everywhere. So don't get hung up on the wrong type of thinking. Those opportunities are there. Seize them, and you can make nice side hustles. And I just wanted to share an example. There's a lot of different ways that are tried and true ways of making money with side hustles in your retirement. And I'm going to do a live stream here very soon about that and about different things that you can do. I understand fully, trust me, that there's different standards for side hustles. Some of them take more time, more effort, more physical ability than others. But there are side hustles that go clear down to very, very little work. They normally don't make the type of money that one that takes more work does, but they're out there and it can still be fun. If you're not looking at the money as much as you are the game, you can have a lot of fun doing them. So just keep in mind, I'm going to do a live stream. And if you see this after the live stream's up, you might want to check that recording out of that live stream. I've also got other videos up about taking an old vintage bicycle and parting it out. You could take that old vintage bicycle and stick it in a yard sale for $25 or $30 and hope you can sell it, or you can go out and look for somebody else that has one of those old vintage bikes in their yard sale, and you can buy it for $20 or $30 and take that, part it out, and sell it for $500 and $600. It's fun to do. Somebody that likes to tinker, taking them apart. You have to learn to sell them, learn how to list them. And for instance, what I showed was on eBay. But those videos, I'll tag them here on the end so you can go check those out. So anyway, keep an eye open for that live stream where I'll answer anybody's questions that they have on side hustles. Keep in mind my buddy's story about his wooden blocks. And there's opportunities everywhere. Watch for those opportunities. like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.